Weights have been lifted. Sprints have been run. Preparation for today's game is history. It's time to get it done. You're listening on MichiganSportsRadio.com.
A wild weekend in Marquette at the Superior Dome, and some fantastic finishes in Battle Creek. I'm John Ross, and this is This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid. Trailing by 12 with just over 1 minute remaining in the Division I 8-player football championship game, the odds of Martin pulling off a comeback against Inland Lakes were not very good. But then Gavin Myers threw a touchdown pass to Tegan Harris. Next, Martin recovered an onside kick. And with just 5 seconds to go,
now Branch moves over to the right side as well. 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Myers looks, pressure comes. He's going to go up the middle. Keeps it on the right side of the 5. Dives for the end zone, and he's in! Touchdown, Martin, with 5 seconds to go. The Clippers have completed the comeback.
That was Matt Chapkus of the MHSAA Championship Radio Network on the call as Myers ran it in from 21 yards out to give Martin a 30-26 win and a state title. In Division II, Adrian Lenawee Christian capped a perfect 13-0 season with a 36-18 win over Marion. Easton Boggs hauled in 9 passes for 210 yards and 3 scores for the Cougars. Quarterback Sam Lutz threw for 350 yards and he added 2 rushing touchdowns. Marion finishes a fantastic season at 11-1. The Eagles put up more than 50 points per game on average this year. For more on both of the 8-player championship games, check out MHSAA.com. It's time for Game Balls, when we highlight a trio of standout performances from the past week. First, in the Lower Peninsula Girls Swim and Dive Championships, Ann Arbor Pioneer captured the title in Division I. It is the school's 4th straight D1 championship. In Division II, Farmington Hills Mercy is your champion. Mercy won by more than 125 points and captured the school's first swimming and diving title since 2019. And the final game ball goes to East Grand Rapids in Division III as they captured their 7th championship in girls swim and dive in the last 8 years.
For high school seniors, the matchup of the year isn't on the field. It's actually online. That's right. When you fill out the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, you could also be eligible for thousands of dollars in additional money from the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. Yep, nearly 80% of students who fill out the FAFSA may be eligible. Now that's a matchup we can all root for. Get started today at michigan.gov/achievement. The Michigan Achievement Scholarship. It's a game changer.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with registered official Paige Winnie.
For the second consecutive season, coaches will have the ability to challenge plays during the 11-player football finals. All potential scoring and turnover plays will continue to be automatically reviewed. But again this year, coaches will be allowed to challenge 1 play per regulation and 1 in overtime, with some restrictions. First, a team must have a timeout available and call it to initiate a review. Second, there are a limited number of items that can be reviewed. Those include catch or no catch, ball carrier in or out of bounds, forward or backwards pass, and a handful of others. If successful, the coach will be given back the timeout. In overtime, coaches can challenge once, no matter how many overtime periods are played, and only if they have a timeout.
Thanks, Paige. Now more than ever, we need officials. If you're interested, please go to the MHSAA website now to register. On the volleyball court at Kellogg Arena in Battle Creek, 4 champions were crowned. Let's start with Division I, where Farmington Hills Mercy dropped the first 2 sets to Grand Rapids Forest Hills Northern before storming back and winning in 5. In Division II, North Branch won its 2nd straight title, this one in straight sets over Grand Rapids West Catholic. Division III saw Kalamazoo Christian defeat Traverse City St. Francis in 4 sets. It's the first volleyball title in school history for the Comets. Holland DeVries finished with 16 kills and 27 digs in the victory. And in Division 4, after being down 2-0 in both the semifinals and finals, Clarkston Everest Collegiate won its first volleyball state title. They knocked off Leland in the title match after beating Monroe St. Mary Catholic Central in 5 sets in the semis. Coverage of all 4 divisions can be found at MHSAA.com. That wraps up the fall season here on This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid, a production of the MHSAA Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Ross, and we will see you in the new year with the winter season in full swing.
Landis to drive, swatted off the backboard by Regnerus. Bulldogs push to Cam. He'll go to the line for one more. Gathers, right circle. Schweiger leaves it for Westrick. Over to Bates. Shot, scores. On the power play, Braden Bates, the sophomore defenseman, 35-34. Maynard down the left side of the lane. Reaching shot off the window. Good for Taryn Maynard. Free throw up. Too strong. Fight for the rebound on the floor. Maynard has it, ripping away up top for Titus. Zeros across the scoreboard, and Jennison has won. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Breslin Center and game night on Michigan Sports Radio. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you here. Picking around corner, Stockwell again, and one! Right elbow, skips the right corner to Watson. Catch and shoot 3. Splash! Muskegon has taken the lead, 47-46. His right hand hook shot, no good. Ball hangs above the rim. Tyron Thomas skies and tomahawks home the rebound. 40-36 Northview. The play of the day from Tyron Thomas. And hello everyone, and welcome to Vanderslice Gymnasium, and welcome to game night on Michigan Sports Radio. Nate Dreyer with Chandler Timmer here tonight for a big December clash. We've been learning a lot about this Grandville Bulldogs team in the early going. So far 2-0 for the Bulldogs. EGR, and then the big win over Unity Christian on Saturday. But today it's probably the toughest test yet for the Bulldogs. It's the Rangers of Forest Hills Central. First-year head coach Jordan George, 2016 graduate of Forest Hills Central, in his first year taking over the command of this team that's loaded with shooting, loaded with talent, and certainly is going to be able to help tell a pretty big picture, I think, at the end of today of exactly where each of these basketball teams are as we're continuing to learn more and more about where Grandville's at and also where this 3-1 Forest Hills Central team is at. Again, Chandler Timmer, Nate Dreyer. This is the Centennial Securities pregame show, CT, and it's going to be an extended Centennial Securities pregame show because it's been a back-and-forth JV contest, and it looks like 52, 2.5 seconds to go. It looks like overtime is imminent. So it looks like we have got even more time to kill. You'll probably hear from Coach Young. Was originally our plan to play that interview for the third time, but that might be the plan tonight. But let's get into this game first off, Chandler, because again, this Grandville team, they keep answering questions. They're starting 4 kids at 6'5" and above, and they somehow dealt with the pressure very well against Unity Christian en route to being able to win that game Saturday. Now a lot of really great shooting, really great talent on the other team. It's one more game where we're going to learn a lot about the Grandville Bulldogs by the end of the night.
Yeah, they're really getting a bunch of unique tests early on in the season in the non-conference against the Unity Christian team that is one of the best in the area. Really mucking the game up. They can play their pace of game. They can bring some pressure. They can throw a bunch of different matchup zone type defenses and really kind of confuse you, force you to handle the basketball up the entire length of the floor, which is what they did against the Bulldogs on Saturday. And even though they have those bunch of big guys out there on the floor, found a way to win that basketball game. And so tonight, a little bit different test when you've got tremendous guard play and some tremendous shooters on this Forest Hills Central team. So it's going to be a unique matchup there for the Bulldogs and one of the areas that they'll try to prove themselves here tonight.
Let's talk a little bit more about Forest Hills Central, because when you... Waylon Haney just hit a half-court buzzer beater to win the game. At the buzzer, the JV game. Grandville wins 55-52.
And I wasn't looking.
I have never, especially in a JV game. I'm sorry, folks. I completely lost. And there's a Grandville player that got hurt in the madness afterwards. I have absolutely never. All right.
No overtime.
No overtime. Grandville wins. Congrats to the JV team. Braylon Haney, oh my goodness. There you go. Forest Hill Central, Chandler. A little bit different test. Similar in terms of being guard-oriented as what Unity Christian was, but this team can really, really shoot the basketball. Jonas VanderWoude in particular, back again. We've seen him in the past year on game night and how much he can do offensively. That's the first place where I think you really need to start is the shooting of FHC. Grandville has not faced a team. They've played really good defensive teams that do different things defensively. They haven't played a team that offensively can light you up, especially from deep. That's the test tonight that Forest Hill Central really brings to the table. They've been effective doing it early in the year, too. They're scoring over 70 points per game.
Yeah, we'll see how the Bulldogs defense responds to that. They've been impressive early on. Of course, the length has been good on the interior. Been cutting off the driving lanes to the basket. When you've got that much size, 1 to 5, you're going to be able to contest a lot of shots in against some smaller teams. But now when you've got a team that has an elite shooting touch from the outside, you're going to force some of those bigger guys to defend out on the perimeter. And we'll see how the Bulldogs respond to that. A little bit different test than maybe what they've seen the first couple games of the season.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Be right back here on the Centennial Securities pregame show. When we come back, we're going QVC. Christmas is right around the corner. If you haven't checked out the MGN shop, we've got some merch with us here that you're going to be able to take a look at and see just exactly what we have to offer. So a little bit different break because we're going to just push some stuff on you. And that's what we're doing when we come back. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here from Vanderslice Gymnasium.
The 10 winners of the Nobel Peace Prize or the last 5 Miss Americas, the point is the applause dies and the achievements are forgotten. But can you name 3 friends who helped you through tough times or teachers who encouraged you in school? We remember those who make a difference in our lives. I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. What matters to us are the personal relationships we have with our clients, helping them build a secure financial future. As a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Hey everyone, Nate from Michigan Game Night. If you haven't already, make sure to check out the MGN shop. You can find it through MichiganGameNight.com or the Michigan Game Night page on Michigan Sports Radio. Click on the Buy MGN Merch button or tab on either page and find your way on over. You can check out a store that has hats, beanies, sweatshirts, t-shirts, water bottles, and everything in between, from just simple MGN logo designs to playoff featured designs, designs with famous calls and moments from MGN, and much, much more. Make sure you check out the MGN shop through MichiganGameNight.com or MichiganSportsRadio.com/MGN.
Can you identify your number 1 personal trait? The thing that you do better than most others? If not, this may be a good time to think this through. If you're really good at writing, then why use the phone? If you're great on the phone, why use email? If you have exceptional human relation skills, why sit back and let others lead? I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities Company. Playing to our strengths is something we do very well at Centennial. And if you're already a customer, you know what I mean. If not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Welcome back. Centennial Securities pregame show. Christmas right around the corner. Maybe you're looking for a gift. Maybe you have a Bulldog fan. Maybe you have an MGN fan in your life. Well, the MGN shop can hopefully help. We're getting close to the deadline, maybe even past the deadline of being able to order based on the product that you choose in time for Christmas. If you don't, Chandler will send you an autograph or something. Yeah. It's just like whatever. We'll have him sign a business card or something, and you can get that as the placeholder. So, a lot of great options. The biggest one that we just added that I cannot believe hasn't sold more, but I can't believe a lot of things, is Grandville versus everybody. New line. We have it with and without the Power T in there. It's a great line on the whole. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think it's something the football team certainly felt this year from a lot of different cases. Yep. We felt it as Grandville media in a lot of different cases. Grandville versus everybody. Great option. I love the Power T version too. Broadcast home of the Grandville Bulldogs. You're a fan of the Grandville Bulldogs. You're a fan of MGN. Has our logo on it. There you go. It's got the Grandville football logo on it. That's great. Maybe you just like MGN. We have sweatshirts, t-shirts. They all just have the logo on it in every color you can imagine. That one's green. You like cartoons. This has our logo on the front, on the back. The Bulldogs, the biggest games, the best teams. That's our tagline because we do all of that, even though it makes some people mad. The jersey doesn't look like this. We altered it. It has a different logo here, but you can see that material, whatever. I think that's everything. Oh yeah, hats. We've got there's a trucker hat version too, but these options of hats, all of that available, MGN shop. It's all great. Go and buy it, please. Or don't. I don't care anymore. We're just here to broadcast games. If you want something, add it. That's MGN QVC. We're going to take a break. We're going to talk about basketball, don't worry, when we come back.
The 10 winners of the Nobel Peace Prize or the last 5 Miss Americas, the point is the applause dies and the achievements are forgotten. But can you name 3 friends who helped you through tough times or teachers who encouraged you in school? We remember those who make a difference in our lives. I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. What matters to us are the personal relationships we have with our clients, helping them build a secure financial future. As a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINR.
MGN, here's the drive. I am Chandler T.
Oh, wow.
We're going to leave this in.
All right.
This is staying in the show. He is Chandler Timmer. I am Nate Dreyer. This is what happens when you work together for 6 years. The names are one.
We're just one, yeah.
Chandler Timmer, Nate Dreyer. Chandler Timmer, Nate Dreyer. Michigan game night, tailgate report. We clearly have to stop talking. I do at least. I will see you all. I see you too. Friday night, Grandville, Wyoming. I think 6:30. We're on the air for that. Goodbye. All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show. And he has returned. He's still on the beach. We've been bugging him about it all week long, but Chandler Timmer joins me here on the Bates Agency pregame show. CT, you seem to be doing better than the rest of us.
Yeah, I know it's pretty nice down here. I kind of like covering basketball this way.
I'm sure you do.
To listen to this moving forward.
I can't blame you one bit. All right.
Rather than just always relying on one player.
Yeah, Scott Bates Agency pregame show continues here on game night on Michigan Sports Radio. CT, I think the next thing that you have to mention most notably in this contest is break me every time still. Every single time that happens, it gets me. The winners still go to the Heartland student section last year at the Breslin Center. Those guys win every time. Season. And we'll wrap up our broadcast with the Heinz Orthodontics smile of the game. Grown at that point guard position. Tough backcourt in general. Getting to some of those other pieces that we have out there. After 3 years, it finally almost came down on me. Good catch. I don't know what kid caught that, but that was a good catch. But regardless, a tough backcourt. Your flight's at 5 or your?
Yeah, the flight out of Panama City is like at 5, and we don't get home till like midnight. So
that sucks. So you're actually, that was a lie. You're not going to be tuning in.
Yeah, no. If I'm at the airport at that time, I will be, but I'm likely missing most of it.
Okay. All right, welcome back to Vanderslice Gymnasium. Audio should hopefully be fixed. We were spiking a little bit during that last segment, which meant that segment went even better because I forgot to tell you where the MGN shop is. So I've already lost that career path in being a QVC salesman.
You can find it through the Michigan Game Night website or the MGN page on Michigan Sports Radio. So likely wherever you're watching the game, unless you're watching on YouTube, you can find the game find the store a couple of clicks away. All right, Grandville, Forest Hill Central. Let's focus on basketball now.
Right.
We've been a little bit thrown off. We've had buzzer beaters. We've had me throwing shirts at you, trying to show things off. And now let's get to this game. And we're going to get into first, the main and obvious talking point is the towering Bulldogs versus the Deadeye Rangers, as I put it on this lead graphic, because what you're looking at, of course, in this matchup is Grandville's size. It's going to be the talking point of them every week. 6'4", 6'5" at 4 of the 5 starting positions the last couple of games. I mean, a guy like Colin Hybor at 6'6", playing essentially as the 2 guard, versus a team that's loaded with 3 guards, essentially 3 guards, a wing and a forward, and almost everyone can shoot for Forest Hill Central. So Grandville does like to shoot the ball despite their size, but they're going up against a team that can really shoot it, but they're going up against a team that is smaller and hasn't seen the kind of length defensively that Grandville brings to the table.
Got to be a really good matchup for what has been established as the strength of either of these two teams early on in the season. For Forest Hill Central, they bring back some experienced guards that really shoot the basketball well from the outside. They're an elite three-point shooting team that really can spread the floor and knock down some shots, and that's kind of going to be what their strength is, and then that's what it's shown to be through a couple games for the Bulldogs. As we talked about, 2 through 5, really going to have a ton of size over the competition. Essentially going to have a point guard and then a bunch of big, lanky guys that can play a lot of different positions. Of course, Regnerus going to be mostly down low, but they're going to be able to really have some versatility at the length and at multiple positions, and so some different strengths for either of these two teams, and we'll kind of see which one of those wins out in this matchup.
Both teams have a lot of depth that they are certainly very, very willing and have shown a high propensity to being willing to go to. We've seen in Grandville in the year a guy like Vanderhart coming off the bench with 9 points and 7 points in the 2 games. Still no Carter Wade, waiting for him to be able to come back, or at least to start the year for the Bulldogs. They're terrific freshmen that we've heard so many great things about. But you can look at Postma and Soroka and all these other good pieces off the bench for Grandville. Forest Hill Central, a lot of experience. Quincy Henry, Roman Brummel, JT Hartman, their football standout, coming back to football back to basketball for the first time in a couple of seasons. Good players up front as well. The bench is very likely where this game could be won or lost. We know what these starting lineups are and how well they perform to start the year, but it's that depth that really comes into play. And it's interesting. It's the Grandville size on the starting unit and then the shooting and the guard play on the starting unit for FHC. You can kind of flip it in terms of what the strength of the benches are.
Yeah, I think that'll be kind of interesting to see too as the game plays out. What kind of mix and match do these coaches find to try to find those matchups? Is it going to be some of the guards off the bench from the Bulldogs to try and match the shooting for the Rangers, or vice versa? Is it going to be the Forest Hill Central bench bringing some length in to try to help defend and find an attack against the Bulldogs' size? And each of these coaches, of course, early on in the season, you can never have too much depth. You're trying to figure out who you can trust as the season goes along, and in the non-conference, perfect opportunity for these guys to get some minutes, and these coaches are going to learn a lot about their team and who they've got coming off the bench as well.
The wing going to be very interesting when you look at the way each of these teams match up at either the small forward and the wing positions. Ty Hudkins for Forest Hill Central, the Purdue football safety commit. We know how incredible he is in terms of an athlete, but Grandville on the wing, obviously you can talk about Hybor, but Caden Neves, the 6'5 junior, the scoring, just 6 points against UC, 3 against EGR. The play of Neves, and I think you can say a little bit the same thing for Hudkins, their play isn't just the scoring. It's what they do defensively. It's what they do rebounding, handling the basketball, pushing the pace, great athleticism. We talk a lot about the big guys and then the guard play for these two teams. The in-between, the battle on the wing, going to be very critical, especially watching Neves and Hudkins and Hybor.
Yeah, both of those, really all those names, Neves and Hudkins, the two guys that we'll see, how much they're on each other one-on-one, but just two tremendous athletes that can do a little bit of everything offensively, defensively, going to be all over the floor. Might not be one individual stat that they really dominate in, but watching those two tremendous athletes go at it, it's going to be a big part of deciding this one as well.
No, absolutely, it will be. Continuing through our Centennial Securities pregame show coverage, thanks as always to Centennial Securities along with Farmers Insurance for being our presenting sponsors here of Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. About 7 minutes still until tip-off in this one. And again, we're setting up a game that we're trying to learn who's real, who's not at this time of year. Well, we do know both of these teams are real. They certainly have proven that. But now it's time to start seeing with your team, and this is part of what Coach Young's talked about throughout the preseason, where are our strengths, our weaknesses as a team? What can we beat? What do we need to work on? Grandville faced a really big demon against, the pressure of Unity Christian with some of their size. Now another team that can really shoot and can probably test them defensively on the perimeter with some bigger players. Forest Hill Central, the opposite. They're going to be undersized in this game by a pretty fair amount when you look at the way things set up. So, this is a game where I think each of these coaches, win or lose, it's a pretty critical night, I think, for them, learning a lot about where their teams are at, where their teams are going here still early in December.
Yeah, it's really important. I think these coaching staffs, that's why you have these non-conference games like this. Of course, ahead of time, you don't know exactly what the matchups are going to be, but when you've got teams like this that just present some different looks for you, I think, the showcase on Saturday, you get to look at a Unity team that can really force you into some uncomfortable situations. Then you get a team like this, your next game, where it's completely different. And we'll see if the Rangers bring any pressure. I think that's something that teams might start to pick up on and do it throughout the course of the season. The Bulldogs so far, though, been able to handle it. But, yeah, you get to see early on, just how for real, what kind of things you need to work on as the season goes along. Of course, still very early into it, only 3-4 games in for both of these teams. But it's going to be a big learning experience for both of these teams, regardless of the outcome.
Forest Hill Central returning. Let's take a look at their last game, because their win over Caledonia on Saturday, they played at Caledonia, it is really one that I think begins to tell a little bit of where this team's strengths and weaknesses very clearly are. Despite being undersized, +8 in the rebound category against Caledonia. It shows how tenacious, athletic they are. And then the three-point shooting, 50% and outpacing their regular shooting from the field. So this is a team that is very expert, very, very expert shooting the basketball. But they also are athletic. They get to the rim in a multitude of different ways, chasing down rebounds. They can collect misses, even though they're a little bit undersized against some opponents that they are going to see, especially today's game. That's really the main first storyline with Forest Hill Central. They shoot the heck out of a basketball, and they can rebound it well, and they can play with good athleticism as well.
Yeah, I think that's something and some numbers there that any coaching staff is going to like to see. Of course, when you've got multiple shooters, going to shoot a high percentage from the field and beyond the arc, that's always important, but not just going to launch it and then head back. They've got some guys that are willing to crash the boards, get some rebounds, even though they might not have a huge presence and a big guy on the boards that's going to collect them all. When you've got guys 1 through 5 that are willing to go get in there, get some second chance points, get some extra possessions for your team.
On the other side of things, for Grandville, we're going to focus on one guy. That's Cam Regnerus. And obviously, we focused a lot on the now Grand Valley State signee throughout his time with the Grandville Bulldogs. But it was the Cam show on Saturday. Grandville had the size advantage against Unity Christian, and they certainly went to that for Cam. 24 points, 20 of which coming in the second half, at 10 in each of the final quarters. 6 rebounds, 3 blocks, 4 dunks that he threw in there as well. It was the most angry offensive performance we've maybe ever seen out of Cam. The defense has always been there. Coach Young talked about this. They never had to preach defense to Cam. It was about refining the offensive game and getting some of that tenacity into the offensive game. We saw that Saturday and then some in the second half. Probably the best half of basketball Cam Regnerus has played in his time at Grandville.
Definitely. I think see some of the aggressiveness catching the basketball when some of the answers to the pressure for the Bulldogs was throwing the basketball over the top, get it to the size of Regnerus in the lane, and then let him just take over when he's got one-on-one or he's behind the defense. And you see right away the aggressiveness and the intention to do damage when he catches the basketball. He turns and just aggressively throwing down some dunks. And so you like to see that from Cam. We'll see if they continue to find that, if there's some pressure, being able to get over the top with him, or even in the half court now, turning some of that aggressiveness and using it there, some post moves, and being able to step out and shoot it a little bit as well, but just keeping that same mindset.
Warm-ups continuing for each of these teams. We're going to quick step aside, come right back. We'll have the national anthem, we'll have player introductions, and we'll get you a little bit closer to tip-off. Grandville, Forest Hill Central tonight on Game Night.
What would you do with some extra time? Shop Fastlane today.
Somebody once said life moves pretty fast, and that's exactly how we like it. Want to build something? Great. Start businesses, build bridges, raise a whole city. Future in fighting crime? Want to save lives? Do it all here. But you've got to go forward fast. Because today is now, and tomorrow is soon. And to get ahead of the game, you got to get ahead of your time. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
Are you looking for a new career? Aetna Supply is hiring. Aetna Supply is Michigan's #1 plumber wholesaler, servicing local customers for over 50 years. They offer great benefits, a 401k with company match, quarterly bonuses, and no Sundays. Once again, check them out at aetnasupply.com/careers or click on their logo on the Michigan Sports Radio homepage. Have you recently collided with a deer or been caught in an unfortunate accident? Don't worry, Car Center Collision and Glass is your trusted partner to bring your vehicle back to life. With convenient branches in Cedar Springs, Burton Heights, Alpine, and Big Rapids, we're right around the corner to provide expert assistance. From collision repairs to mechanical fixes, we're your one-stop solution for all your car needs. Check us out at carcentermi.com.
All right, welcome back. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer, game night on Michigan Sports Radio. Here from Vanderslice Gymnasium. National Anthem is just about on deck. Before we get this one between the Rangers and the Bulldogs underway, 3-1 Forest Hill Central, and 2-0 unbeaten Grandville, looking to keep the very good start for Coach Young's team underway. And the first-year man, Jordan George, looking to do the same for his team as they're off to a solid 3-1 mark to begin their season. Send it on down to the PA and the National Anthem.
Welcome to tonight's contest between the visiting Forest Hill Rangers and your Grandville Bulldogs. The OK Conference serves the world character development of educational athletics. The OK Conference empowers our athletes, coaches, officials, and spectators to role models, sportsmanship, and fair play on the court. We're excited to have our student athletes learn great lessons in educational athletics. Please do your part to create a positive environment for everyone. Before we get started, I want to draw your attention to our officials for the next game. The opportunity to play this game is only made possible by their commitment to high school sports and our student athletes. We appreciate their effort, and they deserve our respect. Please give our officials a round of applause. And now at this time, please rise for the national anthem. Jonas VanderWoude. A senior, number 11, Brady Miller. And a senior, number 22, Owen Godley. The Rangers are coached by Jordan George. And now for your Grandville Bulldogs. At one guard, a senior, wearing number 1, Jackson Video. Another guard, a junior, number 5, Peyton Evans. for number 11, number 33, Colin Highmore. The Dogs are coached by Desmond.
All right. By the way, thanks to Grandville football head coach Eric Stiegel on the PA this evening. Let's get this one underway. Grandville, Forest Hills Central. We've met the starters. Let's rock and roll here on game night. It'll be Godley at 6'5" on the jump against the 6'8", Cam Regnerus. What are you looking for, Chandler, in the first couple minutes of this one?
I think for the Bulldogs, seeing the matchup that they've got there, Godley against Regnerus, see if they can continue some of the momentum Regnerus had on Saturday, turn that into some half-court offense, really get him rolling. I think for the Rangers, if they can start shooting the ball effectively from the outside right away, hit a couple of threes, they can really put some pressure on the Bulldogs defense, stretch them out a little bit, maybe have some room to work down low off from it.
All right, away we go. The Bulldogs will control things, and we'll get the basketball off the jump. Jackson DeYoung will run the point for the Dogs. Here's Highbor. What a start to the season Colin Highbor has had offensively. Neves attacking, slashing, and a travel is called on the extra step on the Euro to the basket. Our old man saying, what is it every time? You can't take that many steps at this level, young man, and that'll be the call against Neves. They'll go back their way with Forest Hills Central. Brady Miller, 6'1" senior guard, along with Jonas VanderWoude. They are the very dangerous backcourt duo. We've seen them for a couple of years, and a double dribble goes back the other way. So a couple of quick violations, and Grandville takes the basketball back. Off the jump, Forest Hills Central going to bring some full court pressure. So they are going to learn a little bit from that Unity Christian type lesson and bring out that sort of defense. They pull off, though, and DeYoung will get ready to set up the Grandville offense right here. Here is Hackman. Neves, defended by Hudkins, that wing battle we talked about in the Centennial Securities pregame show. Kick pass finds its way through to Highbor, dumping, some miscommunication, trying to hit Neves, and you see some of the athleticism of the Purdue football safety signee Hudkins to steal that basketball away.
A couple turnovers early for the Bulldogs. That one just miscommunication between Neves and Highbor.
Regnerus got a piece of that one, rejects it back the other way. Highbor spinning to the rack and a good finish. What a start to his junior campaign for Colin Highbor, CT.
It's been so impressive, just going the basketball really effectively there in transition, able to get the lay-in, but he's been shooting it really well from the field early on.
VanderWoude attacking, one of the best shooters in West Michigan, period, just off the mark with that one. And a high-reaching rebound to Neves and the Bulldogs. 6.5 to go first quarter. Just underway in the 2-0 early Bulldog lead. DeYoung will get the screen from Neves here for Coach Young. Highbor out of the corner. Heckman been operating as a little bit of a point forward type role at the 4 position this year. DeYoung, again, Neves setting that screen from Hudkins. Neves, some difficulty, settles. Can't knock that one down. Regnerus was able to knock the rebound away. Forest Hills Central able to take it. Grandville, a couple good looks from Neves, just have not been able to knock him down so far.
Yeah, set that one up. Had Regnerus set a screen for Neves out in the left wing, and he was open, a couple feet of space, but couldn't get the 3-ball to fall there.
Hudkins dumping for Godley. Neves able to intercept it. Had the rebound last possession, the pick this possession for Neves. Swung Highbor. He'll try it. That one off the top of the backboard, and FHC takes over. They'll push to Hudkins. Off the mark, but the board down to Cargill to keep the possession. VanderWoude tries the 3. Possession stays with FHC. This is that rebounding that they're able to athletically do off the long misses. Triple corner, good. Cargill gets FHC on the board for the first time, and they take their first lead.
A bunch of looks for the Rangers there, just continually getting a couple offensive rebounds, attacking the glass. The Bulldogs really never got set all the way from the start and just were chasing the basketball the entire time. The Rangers able to stay under control and get an open 3.
Highbor up top, back to Neves. Regnerus gonna try to get one of his first offensive looks down. Got it, tough shot through the defensive Godley. Regnerus puts Grandville back on top.
Yeah, right there's the potential of what Regnerus could do down low. A couple guys down there, had some traffic, still able to go strong to that pivot, get to the right hand.
Brady Miller, he had 11 points in the season opener, or 19 points I should say, in the season opener against Traverse City Central. Poking, that one was Highbor. He is drawing the defensive matchup on VanderWoude, the multi-year leading scorer for the Rangers. Godley back to VanderWoude, blocked, but a foul on Heckman will send VanderWoude to the line. Our first foul of the game, just about to the halfway point
of the first half, and that's the nature of this give-and-go, twisting guard-oriented offense, and they're going to try to do a lot of that kind of slashing and getting the bigger Grandville defenders a little bit behind.
Yeah, two-man game there. VanderWoude and Godley working that handoff, eventually getting Godley to slip to the basket, drawing Heckman over. VanderWoude following it up and getting a chance at the free throw line.
VanderWoude connects and ties the game. Again, he is the guy to watch. In that season-opening win I talked about over Traverse City Central, he had 23 points. I think if you're identifying the best shooters in West Michigan, I believe the line or the line of players probably starts with VanderWoude. He's able to convert both at the charity stripe to get his first points of the contest. Regnerus giving the shoulder, backing his way to the cup. Neves with a little bit of space to three. Got it. Caden Neves knocks down the triple. Missed one just a moment ago, but he got that one.
And good work from Regnerus there, going really hard to the rim, draws the multiple defenders over, and then the vision to see Neves open in the right wing and kick it out to him. Neves had a tough rattle out earlier, but that one knocked down.
Turning off the mark, and the rebound to Regnerus. That was Miller on the shot. Goes back to VanderWoude off the steal there off the pressure, weaving and knocking it down from mid-range. Just kind of snaked his way to find the two right there, CT.
Yeah, loose ball there, and the Rangers able to chase it down, gets themselves another look. They cash it in. It's a team that shoots so well from the field. Can't continue to give them extra looks like that.
To Young, on for Hybor. Dumping for Regnerus. Stripped away, no foul, as it's Miller able to get that one free. 3:20 to go, tied at 7. Hudkins beneath the basket, puts FHC back on top.
Hudkins just running the floor that time, finds himself open underneath the basket, throws the hands up there, and the pass able to get delivered. Tough reverse finish.
Neves looking for another three, cannot hit that one. VanderWoude to take it. Really the first semblance of a half-court game we've seen Grandville play this year. I mean, the EGR game, yes, was slower, but I think this is, for both teams, a little bit more of the style of play we expect to see Grandville and FHC basketball games to look like. Driving to the rack, nice move and nice finish from Brady Miller. A really tough snake to the rack, and then the finish from the standout senior.
Yeah, was trying to go to the right side and got cut off, but able to work himself free going back to the left.
Neves off the mark, trying to get that one over top of Hudkins. Nice feed, all alone. Hudkins got it to go. Nice find from VanderWoude. Coach Young wants a timeout, and he'll get a timeout. We'll take one quick, too. 2:16 to go in the first, 13-7. FHC, a little bit of an early run. We'll be right back.
The 76 Diner and Truck Stop would like to invite you and your families to come and check out their diner. With locations in both Byron Center and Coopersville, they're a great place to stop before or after the game. They have a wide variety of menu choices to feed all the kids. They serve breakfast hot all day, and they're able to accommodate all of your large group needs. Their full menu is available for takeout orders, and they have online ordering at 76truckstopdiner.com.
All right, welcome back to Vanderslice Gymnasium, Grandville High School. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you. Sorokin has checked in for the Bulldogs. Roman Brummel has checked in for Forest Hills Central, along with Jay Coe, the big 6'1 senior. And FHC brings a little bit of pressure. Grandville able to beat it on to Corbin Heckman. Nearly 6 minutes gone. Good start or good run right here that FHC certainly is on. Caden Neves for Hybor. He'll trigger the three. Can't quite knock that one down in rhythm, but the long rebound out to Sorokin. Corner. Heckman tries the triple. Got it. Corbin Heckman hitting threes. That's one of the biggest things that can unlock this Grandville offense, I think.
Definitely adds a scoring touch when he gets a corner three like that off the offensive rebound.
VanderWoude trying to do some work in against the trees. Doesn't get the finish, and Hybor to run. And Grandville offensively will set it up a little bit here in the half court. Something I don't know if they were able to do once on Saturday against Unity Christian. Hybor, Heckman. Sorokin lobbing for Regnerus. Coe saves it into Cam. And a whistle and a foul. It'll be the first of the game on Forest Hills Central. Again, in games we've done this year, have we seen a bonus yet of the new bonus rule in any of our contests? I don't think so.
I don't believe so.
And certainly not going to start this quarter. Vanderhart will come in. Terrific sophomore, Vanderhart. 9 points off the bench the first game, 7 points off the bench last time. You know, he really offensively has added quite a bit of a spark, and I think we're going to see an increasing role for the sophomore throughout the stretch run of this season. He'll give it up top to Sorokin. Vanderhart tries the three, off the mark with that one. Board eventually to Coe, and now it'll slowly go with Miller. Coach George had his right palm out, just trying to slow things down offensively for FHC, getting the rhythm. VanderWoude triggers off the mark. He's fighting for his rhythm as well. Good rebound grab by Brummel, and the senior's fouled. Colin Heiborg caught something up high in that scrum. The foul is on Vanderhart. Postma will come in, and Heiborg, who is a little shaken up, will find his way back to the bench. He caught an elbow or something, Aaron, in that scrum for the basketball.
Yeah, it looked like he might have got hit in the eyes. One of the Rangers grabbing for the basketball on the offensive rebound.
Cargill is running off the screen. He'll set it up here against Vanderhart. The junior attacking, feeds to Coe. Backing in, Regnerus the block. Out of bounds with Cargill. Grandville takes it. Cam Regnerus disrupting at the rack right now.
Yeah, just perfectly played from Regnerus underneath the basket. Initially contesting on the left side, and then as soon as that pass gets slipped off, slides back over to the right, blocks the shot.
Here's Postma. Sorokin. Nice spin. The junior pulls. Cannot hit from the free throw line, but Heckman the board. 17 seconds on the clock. Turns off the hook. Good start for Corbin Heckman. The three and a nice hook. He brings Grandville within a single point. Final 10 seconds of the quarter. Miller taking against Sorokin for Brummel. And Brummel double dribbles. 2.3. Grandville takes it. How about the play of a fired up Corbin Heckman, though, early in this game? He's been Grandville's best offensive player.
Yeah, really strong play in the first quarter. Couple second chance looks for him, and a three in the corner, and then a nice little hook shot. He'll try it from 3/4 court, and that one was on line the whole way, but just a little short. Didn't quite have the Braylon Haney JV magic from the half-court buzzer beater that he was able to hit to win that game for the Grandville JV contest. 13-12, FHC by 1 at the break. We will be right back. All right, welcome back to Vanderslice Gymnasium. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you. Both coaches are wrapping some things up right here after the first. 13-12. They're just saying off air, Chandler, I think we're looking at a really close game. These two teams seem evenly matched, and through the first bit, a little bit of shot making, a little bit of good defense as well from each team showing up. And I think two teams are pretty evenly matched, even though they match up in different places. Yeah, I think both teams have kind of gotten what they wanted to and what they've game planned coming into this one. You've seen couple shots from the outside fall from the Rangers. They're able to really attack you see some of the carryover from their game Saturday too, where they're shooting a high percentage from the field, but also they've been crashing the offensive boards, getting a lot of second chance looks for the Bulldogs, using some size, getting Heckman going there in the last couple minutes as well.
Again, you missed it too in the pregame show. Forest Hill Central shot 50% from three in their first contest of the year, so you certainly can expect that offense to be hitting a little bit different level. Grandville unit that was out there to end the quarter stays out there. A couple slight changes, including Owen Godley coming back out here for Coach George and FHC. Here's Brady Miller, senior point guard. Defended by Sorokin. Godley thinking mid-range against Cam. Regnerus, good defense with space. Miller over top of Sorokin, no. And the board on to Xander, who will look to run. He's got numbers off the fall, spinning into the lane, and the finish. Grandville back on top. How about that from Xander Sorokin? The junior doing it on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, he was the one that reached in, helping out Regnerus down there, down in the post move, able to reach in there and knock it free, and then a nice spin move to finish on the other side.
Now Sorokin on the floor gets the tie up. Most aggressive minutes we've seen yet out of the Bulldogs junior. We saw him a lot on JV last year. Very talented player, and that was the best in terms of, I think, showing off the burst and the talent that we've seen out of him, and a little bit of defensive tenacity as well, as Grandville continues to try to figure out what is our backcourt mix going to be. Plays like that are what makes the difference. The Bulldogs back on top here. First minute gone in the second quarter. Regnerus bounding in. A foul going to be called on Godley on the floor. I mean, what do you do if you're trying to defend Cam Regnerus? When he gets those long, bouncing, backing strides to the basket, and then he's got the long arms to attack around you, and oh yeah, if he attacks facing up, he'll jam it down in your face. I mean, what do you do defensively against Regnerus the way he's been starting this year?
Yeah, it's not easy. You see there, Godley trying to push him as far off the blocks as he possibly can, but Regnerus with those long strides and the spin moves he's got can still cover some ground to get to the basket.
Heckman gets another one. Second triple of the game for Corbin Heckman, and Grandville goes up 4.
Now really going to spread the floor for the Bulldogs if Heckman can start shooting it that well from the outside.
Inside, Godley with the quick answer to bring it back within a 2-point game.
The Rangers have been able to find some of those quick passes down low where they get it out on the perimeter and then attack the basket, cut there, and able to find some holes and get free.
Regnerus fouled by Godley there. They're getting a little tied up. You didn't see it. Getting tied up there underneath the basket. That's the second on Godley to bring Coe in.
Yeah, Godley's been getting physical, trying to move Regnerus off the blocks as we just talked about, but the entry pass, when it's there.
Nice find on the inbound pass, all alone, Heckman. Grandville goes back up 4 here. Again, what a start for Corbin Heckman in double-digit scoring now. Tough one, will not go, and Heckman the board. Best game we've seen yet out of that senior. Able to feed his fellow senior, and Regnerus jams. Yep, he traveled first, took that little extra step, kind of pivoting his way to the basket. And unfortunately, even when it's cool, it doesn't stand, so go back the other way.
Yeah, the pass from Heckman right over top of the defender. Barely looked like it was going to get to Regnerus, but able to fit it up there, and Regnerus then just took one extra step. I believe it was Cargill that quick cut in there and forced Regnerus to misstep just a little bit and travel.
Brady Miller on Sorokin, feeding Coe. There's Cargill. Trying to get away from the Bulldogs sophomore Vanderhart. 2 minutes gone, second quarter. Dogs by 4. Quincy Henry is fouled. Offensive foul. Goes back the other way. They'll get Matt Sexton, the sophomore.
Yeah, nice work from Boston Postma there, trying to fight over top of that screen. Sexton trying to quick set a screen in the right wing, or the left wing rather, and then moving the feet as he was doing so. Postma trying to fight through it, draws the offensive foul call.
First on Sexton, third on the team. Here's Nebbs back on the floor for the Bulldogs. Heckman, he'll try his luck again. Cannot get that one off the heat check. And Henry grabs the board. Pushes it on to Cargill, who's able to settle down against Boston Postma's defense. He'll back it out. Gibson Connolly getting set to check in from the Bulldog bench. Cargill out of the corner on the attack against Nebbs, able to duck. Able to score. Good move from the 5'11 junior guard to bring his team back within a score.
Yeah, the shot fake just enough to get Nebbs to elevate and fly by. And then off balance, able to finish that one with the left hand.
Post him out of the corner. Up for Heckman. Lobbing. Regnerus. That one will count.
Well, those two have been finding the connection, even though the first one traveled there. Another great pass from Heckman over the top, getting in a place where Regnerus can catch and attack.
Henry fouled by Postma. VanderWoude, Hudkins back in for Coach George, so he'll get his starting wings back out there. Coach Young will keep the same unit. Again, two coaches looking to build their programs right here. Desmond Young in his third year, and then Jordan George taking over his first year as the head coach of
The Rangers, 2016 graduate of Forest Hills Central. Errant pass is secured by Cargill. Makes him 25 years old. I know that because that's our class and that's how old we are. So, very young coach. Or at least I'm still going to consider him a young coach. Very young coach. Very, very young coach. Taking over for the Rangers. Drive from Cargill. Here's Coe out of the corner. Regnerus giving him a little bit of space. They'll back it out with 4:11. Drive from Miller. And got the tough finish.
Guards for the Rangers have been able to get right around that free throw elbow area, hit some tough floaters.
Sorokin, a much higher scoring game than the first one that was played here at Vanderslice Gymnasium, where EGR barely got over 30 points and Grandville barely got over 40 in that contest. At the end of the game, here's Neves with some space from the wing. Can't get the friendly touch, and Miller chases to the rebound. Neves fighting a little bit early on in this game. Cargill off the push. Active hands defensively for Grandville. You saw some right there from Postma again. Miller bounding around the screen. Regnerus will pick him up on the switch. In most teams, then you're trying to look for the mismatch with size, but Grandville has so much size that Neves then gets switched down to the postman. He's got similar size to Regnerus. Here's VanderWoude with Miller down to the floor. With space, a deep three for Cargill. Got it! And just like that, FHC goes back on top with Brendan Cargill from triple.
Yeah, the Rangers trying to work the basketball. They were trying to get something going towards the basket, but as Miller hit the ground, they kind of had to reset and just get it out to Cargill. It took a deep three.
Coe able to steal it. Coach George is going to call a timeout, and he will be awarded possession. As he does so, 2:46 in the second. FHC back up one. Been a back and forth affair. Been a really good one so far. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here from Vanderslice Gymnasium.
Cornerstone University.
The professors are very open to helping whenever they can.
Academic excellence, character-driven athletics, Christ-centered community involvement.
Cornerstone has been a great opportunity for me to grow as a leader, just being able to approach people and be warm and welcoming and hospitable.
Experience it for yourself. Attend a Golden Eagle Day at Cornerstone for a taste of campus life and the chance to meet faculty and staff. To arrange a visit for your high school junior or senior, go to cornerstone.edu. Cornerstone University. Build a life that matters.
All right, welcome back. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer. 2:46 to go, second quarter. FHC up by 1 over Grandville here on game night on Michigan Sports Radio. Been a really good one so far, to say the least. Back and forth, game of runs. And both offenses have come up with some really good moments in this game to help keep some of the scoring up. Miller defended by DeYoung, who's back out there for the Bulldogs. Roman Brummel back on the hardwood for the Rangers. Hudkins slashing, finding Coe. He'll back it out with 2.5 in the quarter to Miller. Miller chased by DeYoung. Grandville and Coach Young's token, knowing man-to-man defense, a foul going to be called. Bulldog faithful and Cam Regnerus don't love the call. And the foul is actually going to be Hybor on the junior, his first, team second. 3 on FHC, 2 on the Bulldogs this quarter. And VanderWoude got it. So far, really, the offensive work for VanderWoude's been at the line. He hasn't got his normal shooting touch going, but it's one of those things you just know that number 5 in green is going to get that shooting going.
Yeah, the Bulldogs still forced to respect his ability to shoot the basketball there. It's even catching the basketball in the paint near the free throw line. Still had to try to contest that shot and ended up knocking him off balance as he tried to go up with it.
Neves all the way across here as FHC is bringing a swinging matchup zone defense right here. Swung, Hybor with some space, can't hit it, and Brummel chases to the ball. So out of the timeout, Coach George setting up that matchup zone. DeYoung chases to the basketball. There's a foul off the ball, and I think they got Miller behind the play.
Yeah, we'll see if there's a foul here. Hybor was a bit slow. He, after missing that three, crashed along the baseline pretty hard, and then might have got hit by a flailing hand or arm again, and was a little bit slow getting back on defense. It might have just been an official timeout there to give him a second to get back.
That is what it's going to be, no foul. And again, Here's FHC running to the basketball out of the matchup zone in the corner. Neves swings to DeYoung. There's going to be open threes if you're able to swing it. Neves will get one, and he got it. Grandville knocks the game. Caden Neves the triple.
Yeah, the Bulldogs able to get the ball movement enough to find an open look for Neves. He's now hit a couple threes here tonight.
Nice dribble move from Brady Miller, trying to hit Hudkins. Connolly twisting up with him. A couple of football standouts right there. Hudkins and Connolly knocking together, and the Bulldogs come out with the basketball. Triple, Neves, can't get that one, but a rebound is spiked away from Regnerus. He'll stay with Grandville, last touched by Brummel. Bring Cargill in. Brummel takes a seat, 1:05 second quarter, 3 team fouls in the quarter on FHC, 2 on the Bulldogs. And all tied at 27, been a really, really good game. Regnerus has got the matchup on Hudkins. Swung around. Hybor with space. Junior can't hit it. And Cargill the rebound and the run out. Cargill hesitates to mid-range. Coe back to Cargill. Tries the 3 and the lefty misses it all. Coe chases the rebound. Goes Grandville's way as I think a couple end lines were stepped on. I think it may have been VanderWoude was the one that ultimately drew it. And Heckman comes back in for the Bulldogs. Connolly takes a seat.
It looked like Hybor took another fall there. He's kind of had a rough night. He's been getting beat up, got hit by hands a couple different times. That time hit the floor pretty hard, but able to stay out there.
Got a big Grandville team and a very physical with a couple football players, Forest Hill Central team. So the game's kind of been what you expected it would look like. Hybor to DeYoung. Hybor again, back to DeYoung. Heckman, nice head fake into the 3. Got it! What a game for Corbin Heckman. Another 3 off the bench. He's got 13. Grandville back on top.
Yeah, the Bulldogs didn't have to continue to find Heckman out of this zone defense. It's been a lot of Neves and Hybor, but Heckman shooting his way into getting an opportunity to get the basketball some more.
VanderWoude, tough one over top of Hybor. Got it. There's the shot making from Jonas VanderWoude, and that'll end the first half. And what a first half that one certainly was, as the Bulldogs are able to take the tight 1-point advantage into the break. All right, CT, we'll start off our Farmers Insurance halftime show. I mean, I guess just kind of give us your first thoughts on that one. I mean, good back and forth game, a lot of good shot making, I think, from both teams throughout that first half of play, and in the end, Grandville goes up just one. Heckman counted the difference.
Yeah, both these teams have seemed to have an answer, and they've gone back and forth quite a bit, and seen the Rangers be able to attack the basket a little bit with their guards, get downhill, and then also shoot from the outside, get some offensive rebounds, and play some good defense. The Bulldogs as well. They've seen a couple different looks defensively out of the Rangers, been able to shoot the basketball over the top, get some of their length involved as well. But that's been a really good game so far. It looks like both these teams very closely matched through the first half.
We talked about this game being a different test. And, yeah, scoring-wise, 27-26. I think the offense, the level of play offensively, probably above the actual scoring because it's been a little bit lower-paced type of game. But you think about Grandville's first 2 games, games that were completely defensive-oriented in different ways. The Unity game, the back-and-forth, full-court defense, more of a grinding defensive game where both teams kind of struggling to shoot against EGR. This is a game for Grandville that's been offense-based. The defense making great plays, yes, but you've had to match shot for shot with high-level shot-making to stay in this ball game, and with, kind of lower amounts of possessions being out there than, say, on Saturday. So, once again, a different test, and so far, Grandville passing the test.
Yeah, they've looked like they've been ready for this. I mean, it's a Forest Hill Central team that can shoot the basketball, and they did so, able to hit a pretty high percentage from the field, and the Bulldogs able to understand that and know what they need on the offensive end to value every possession and get some quality looks, and they've got some big contributions. Corbin Heckman, a tremendous first half scoring the basketball that's helped them out.
All right, at the half, 27-26, Grandville over Forest Hill Central. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here with much more to break down of the Farmers Insurance Halftime Show on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. Dogs by 1 over the Rangers at the half. We'll be right back.
Looking for a great place to buy a used truck or car? Check out Extreme Truck and Auto Center, located at 1098 O'Malley Drive in Coopersville. They have a huge selection of trucks, cars, vans, and SUVs. Stop by their lot or give them a call at 616-384-3777. You can check out their inventory at xtacenter.com.
Michigan hearing experts sell and service several brands of hearing aids. Are you having trouble having a conversation or unable to hear the latest play of the game? We perform comprehensive hearing exams and use real ear measurements to ensure optimal functioning hearing aids for your unique needs. Our highly trained doctors of audiology are dedicated to helping you reconnect with your world. Visit MichiganHearingExperts.com to find a location near you and take the first step towards better hearing with Michigan Hearing Expert.
Cornerstone University.
The professors are very open to helping whenever they can.
Academic excellence, character-driven athletics, Christ-centered community involvement.
Cornerstone has been a great opportunity for me to grow as a leader, just being able to approach people and be warm and welcoming and hospitable.
Experience it for yourself. Attend a Golden Eagle Day at Cornerstone for a taste of campus life and the chance to meet faculty and staff. To arrange a visit for your high school junior or senior, go to cornerstone.edu. Cornerstone University. Build a life that matters.
The Grand Rapids Sports Hall of Fame celebrates the city's rich sports history by honoring prominent West Michigan athletes and those who have contributed greatly to sports on a local, state, or national level. A class is elected each year and then honored at an induction ceremony in the fall. They also prevent annual events in support of West Michigan athletics, and they raise funds to support local youth organizations and charities. Follow them on Facebook or check out the pictures and biographies of all 181 inductees at grsof.com.
We are Centennial Securities,
an independent firm with a team of committed professionals
who strive to exceed our clients' expectations by giving outstanding service.
We're proud to be part of our community where we live and work.
Upgrade to Music Jams Premium to get uninterrupted listening on all your favorite tunes. Click here to start your 7-day free trial.
If it's important, it's not worth compromising. Which is why with Farmers, you don't have to compromise quality to get great savings on your insurance. I got this.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to Vanderslice Gymnasium. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer here on Game Night on MSR. 27-26, Grandville over FHC at the half. This is our Farmers Insurance halftime show. Chandler, get us through our first half scoring, then we'll break that down a little bit.
All right, for the Rangers, VanderWoude and Cargill each at 8 points. Hudkins and Miller each with 4 points. And then Medic with 2. For the Bulldogs, leading all scores, Corbin Heckman, 13 points. Neves with 6. Regnerus, 4 points. And then Sorokin and Hybor each had 2.
All right, so obviously the first name that jumps off the page is Corbin Heckman. This is his third year on varsity for the senior, and we've seen him more or less starting throughout a lot of that tenure for the Bulldogs. Started all of last year until kind of the last couple games of the year when Coach Young changed things up to a little bit smaller in the starting lineup. I think that was the best half of basketball. We've seen some good halves out of him. That's got to be the best half of basketball, both ends of the floor, we've seen out of Corbin Heckman in these 3 years.
No doubt he played really well, and on the defensive end, down low, using his size and becoming that other post defender at times when Regnerus is drawn out and holding his ground there. But then especially on the offensive end, 3 triples for him is when he can help the Bulldogs spread the floor like that, can really be dangerous, because it's been a lot of Neves and Hybor trying to get the open threes, especially against some of the zone defenses. But when Heckman is going to get some space, and then he can also be a threat from the outside, and he's going to hit 3 triples like that, it's going to really help the Bulldogs offense out.
No, absolutely. That's very much the case. Oh, that didn't work. That's very much the case. You look at this Forest Hill Central team, Chandler, and the one thing that mostly stands out to me, of course, is Jonas VanderWoude. Quiet to start, hasn't hit a 3 yet in the way that we expect him to. A couple at the line, a couple tough ones in the lane,
but he's starting to find his shot, and you just feel like you're going to see things click for VanderWoude like they always do, and he's going to become that much more of a dangerous threat. They've been able to spread the ball around offensively, but you feel like VanderWoude's going to really come, into the forefront here shortly for FHC.
Yeah, I think so. I think out of the gate, VanderWoude, the three ball not falling initially, but he's been able to keep himself involved. He's been able to work and get a little bit closer to the basket and get some points that way. He's made some tough shots in the lane, and then, of course, got himself to the free throw line a couple different times, his 4 points at the stripe, and so continuing to stay involved in the offense and still finding his shot, even though that's not there from beyond the arc.
All right, quick break. We'll come back, get you your keys, and get you your second half right after this here on Game Night.
Was founded based on the belief that the interests of our clients must always come first.
We listen and understand your objectives before making a recommendation.
We customize the portfolio of investments to fit your goals.
It is our commitment to provide a strong line of communication.
Our services include family wealth management, saving for retirement, and estate planning and trust services.
Getting started is as easy as picking up the phone. After all, when everything is said and done, isn't it about time?
It's the final game, folks. This one wins the series.
Struck out with the cheap seats? Important things aren't worth compromising. At Farmers, we offer both quality insurance and great savings. Here, take mine.
We are Farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
All right, welcome back to Vanderslice Gymnasium. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer, third quarter on deck. You've been tuned in to the Farmers Insurance halftime show. Chandler, keys to the second half. It's close in the first half, so this game will be one on the margins for sure.
Yeah, I think so. I think you'll see both these coaching staffs make some adjustments here and figure out what they can do in the second half. But I think for the Bulldogs, you're leading this game, even though two of your leading scorers early on in the season in Regnerus and Heibor have combined for 6 points. I think you'll see some stronger performances from them in the second half, getting them some looks. Heibor has been a little banged up, hitting the floor a couple times and has been a little shaken up. But I think he'll settle in a little bit here in the second half to look for the Bulldogs to go to him, and, of course, Regnerus in the half court as well. I think the Rangers offensively able to attack the length of the Bulldogs pretty well. They had a lot of ball movement when you've got multiple guards out there that can shoot it effectively. They're moving the ball quickly, catching and attacking. I think look for them to continue to do that. The three ball is going to be big for them. They've got multiple guys that can shoot it, but having multiple guards that can attack downhill as well has been effective for them.
All right. Time to go with second half. Quick reminders. Here are your starters from the opening of the ball game. We'll see them in the second half here as well for the Bulldogs, as well as for Coach George and FHC. All right, second half, Rangers will open up with the ball, and they will get it to Brendan Cargill Jr., who was very good, tied for their leading scorer with 8 points, as we mentioned in that first half of play. Ty Hudkins, the Purdue commit football standout, to help get into him. Let's rock and roll. Second half is here. Grandville by 1 after the first 2 frames in this one. Drive from Miller. Tough one around Regnerus. No.
Even though Miller able to get a step initially, attacking on the right side, the post presence of Regnerus there blocking the shot still made that up and around very difficult for Miller.
Corner, Heibor tries the 3. Can't get himself going, like you said. Been kind of a rough day for Colin. Roughed up at the bottom of a couple of scrums and unable to find his shot despite the early 2 that he scored. Miller. Watched by Neves now. Hudkins loosely watched here by Heibor. He'll drive on him. Worked around, and a good steal from Jackson DeYoung. The senior gets the hand in there, runs down to Regnerus, dump pass to Heibor. Regnerus was grabbed before he dumped that pass off by Godley. 7:06 in the third. That's the third foul on Godley. He'll stay out there as VanderWoude will, as Vanderhart will check in for the Bulldogs for Heibor. DeYoung to Neves. He'll try the 3. Can't hit that one, but DeYoung flies to the rebound. Good effort minutes out of the Bulldogs senior guard. Vanderhart for Neves. Attacking. Cannot get the touch. And Hudkins the board on the run out. Stolen again by Jackson DeYoung. Been all over the place to start this second half.
Yeah, a couple steals, just anticipating some passes there. Has got him a couple turnovers and got the Bulldogs offense a couple looks.
Hackman to run things. Directing some traffic. No looks it to Neves. Tries the three, hits the three. Caden Neves, the triple.
Neves doing all his damage tonight from beyond the arc. That's his third triple now against this zone defense type look. The three ball has been there and been open a couple different times. Neves has taken a few different looks. Now cashed in on 3 of them.
VanderWoude blocked by Regnerus. He just cleans up so much. Coach Young talked about is, even if this team isn't quite defensively where we were at the end of last year, not many teams are. Having a guy like Cam Regnerus to just bring to the table what he does to just clean up everything that kind of has collected his direction just helps so much. Cohen, a couple of other changes out there for Coach George right here. Nearly ripped away by DeYoung. Held ball. It goes Grandville's way. Jackson DeYoung bringing the effort to start the second half, and that's exactly what the Bulldogs need out of their senior point guard.
Yeah, I think you have to love what you've seen out of the couple different point guards now from the Bulldogs. Some really strong minutes and possessions here from DeYoung defensively, getting some turnovers. Sorokin in the first half was playing well, something the Bulldogs really love to see.
He'll beat that pressure of Quincy Henry. Hackman feeding Regnerus, jamming! Cam Regnerus, nice dish, nice finish. Bulldogs stretch it to 32-26.
Yeah, tremendous job, Regnerus. Ripped through there to avoid the defender with the basketball so it doesn't get poked free.
Shot off the mark. Cargill tries to put back DeYoung to run with the basketball. All the way to the rack. Can't get the 2. Regnerus can't get the touch as he kind of got hung on the rim. And FHC pushes it too far for Cargill, who's able to expertly direct it into the foot of Vanderhart and keep the basketball.
It looked like that one was going to be thrown way ahead of the action and out of bounds. The other way would have been Bulldogs basketball, but the effort from Cargill to run that one down, jump and throw it off of Vanderhart.
FHC still searching for their first points of the second half. I think we have a tech on DeYoung. I think he might have made some contact with Miller on the inbound right there. Officials are going to talk about it, but that appears to be what the call is.
DeYoung's been playing very aggressively on the defensive end, and that time, not exactly sure. He's got his hands up, looking for an explanation, and Coach Young gonna get one as we speak right here. But it was VanderWoude trying to get free on that inbound play towards the end there, as the 5-second call approaching, the technical foul getting called.
VanderWoude as good as it gets at the stripe, and he's in a double-digit scoring and has got his team on the board for the first time in this half. We had one of those technicals on Saturday. Was it the second game that we had a touch on the inbound, the Hudsonville Grand Rapids Christian game? Not a call you see a ton of in terms of those techs on the inbound plays. Triple from Cargill. Cannot hit. Trying to no-look it. Hackman got the hand in there. DeYoung secures the steal, but he loses the basketball as he got going ahead of himself a little bit and ahead of the camera. Going to go FHC's way.
Yeah, trying to gather the basketball as it was bouncing free. Looked like a couple times he almost had it and then almost started to look towards the basket before fully securing it. Ended up bouncing off his foot.
Here's Brady Miller to Cargill. Hits VanderWoude slashing, skips it to Coe in the corner. Regnerus will give him some space. Cargill to reset the offense. This feels a little bit more like a grinding Grandville game of years past that we're used to seeing here on game night for sure. Miller attacks on DeYoung. That's a tough one. He's able to get it. Tough shot gets his team back within a score. Brady Miller, good finish.
He's been able to do that a couple times here today, is work himself patiently into the lane and then get that one-handed float shot to go in.
Misdirected pass from DeYoung out of bounds. Coach Young going to bring Sorokin in here. He's a little frustrated as DeYoung will take a seat. And FHC in the midst of a little bit of a run back after it was all Grandville for the first 2 minutes or so of the quarter. FHC going back at it a bit. Been a game of runs, whether offensive or defensive runs for sure. Miller, good behind the back dribble, driving. Kicked around, the triple try is good. Quincy Henry gets on the board for the first time, and FHC goes back on top.
They get the ball movement down low initially and then able to kick it out. Deep three. Henry off the bench.
Regnerus dishing Vanderhart, 3. Sophomore can't get the answer. VanderWoude is fouled by Neves.
Vanderhart's been a big part of the Bulldogs off the bench so far. Has yet to score here tonight, but tough rattle out on that one. Neves trying to chase down the rebound from the weak side and ended up reaching in there and fouling.
2 fouls on the Bulldogs this half, 1 on FHC. Nice pass and a tough reverse finish. VanderWoude able to get that one and get it to a 3-point game. Good move, Sorokin dishing to Heckman. Neves to Regnerus, goes back to Heckman and he scores. Great game continues for Corbin Heckman, got the Bulldogs back within 1.
Yeah, Heckman passed the first time around. Initially might have been able to force a shot up close to the basket, passed it out, got an even better look.
Cargill driving, stolen by Sorokin. For Neves for the lead. No, and that one touches off on some of the connection to the ceiling, and it'll go back FHC's way. What is the technical term for that? The rope? The cable?
Yeah, I don't know.
Cabling? The cabling of the ceiling? Support cabling. Miller. Cargill. Splitting, driving, fouled. 2:46 in the third. 1-point lead for FHC. Game that certainly, I think, is getting set to go down to the very end. Postman will come in as that's the second foul on Caden Neves, so he'll get a little bit of a breather right here. 9 points right now for Neves. Been shooting the basketball pretty well as he's reached his highest point total of the year. He's gotten 3 better each game. 3 in the first game, 6 in the last game, 9 so far in this one as he's acclimating himself with Coach Young's system and this Grandville attack for the Fishers Indiana transfer. Cargill off the drive. Swung to Henry with the deep 3 a moment ago. Driving and putting one that's stolen by Heckman of the Bulldogs. Sorokin off the push from Heckman. Trying to lob for Regnerus, and he'll instead reset it. Heckman swings. Sorokin drives and is poked by Henry. Sorry, Postma drives and is poked by Henry. It'll stay with the Bulldogs. 2:13, third quarter. 1-point lead for the Rangers.
Yeah, Postma looked like he was going to be able to get along the baseline there. Nice little shot fake and a jab, but Rangers able to reach it around and poke it free from behind.
Sorokin was space, got it. Nothing but net, Bulldogs back on top.
Sorokin continues to play strong here for the Bulldogs. His 3 from the corner that time falls, able to get him open look, and he hits.
VanderWoude bounding into the lane and is fouled by Heckman. 4th team foul on the Bulldogs in the quarter. Foul will be Postma, not Heckman, his first. So FHC 1 away from the bonus in this quarter. 2 minutes, just a little less left in the third. Bulldogs by 2. There's Coe to Cargill. Whistle off the ball, offensive foul. I think they got Jay Coe, a technical. I think they got Coe on the tech then. He must have said something about the foul.
Yeah, it looked like he had turned around as soon as that one was blown dead. Turned around, said something, and the official did not like it, teeing him up.
So that will send Vanderhart to the stripe as Coe picks up the tech. And Vanderhart's off the mark with the first. So the Bulldogs sending their sophomore to the line. Getting 9 points in the opener, 7 points then against Unity Christian, and that's the first point of this game for Vanderhart. (38-35). I think that little moment there from Coe, though, is a little bit of the intensity picking up in this game. I think you've seen some of it defensively. These are 2 high-intensity type basketball teams. You know, the size of Grandville, the athleticism, the amount of amount of championship football players on this FHC team just a couple weeks ago, of course. And I think you're going to start seeing some of that down the stretch. Bulldogs lead by 3. They'll get to set up the offense here out of the technical free throws. Cam Regnerus and A lot quieter in this game than, of course, his 24-point outburst last time. Reaching around, Postma. Extra pass, Heckman tries another one. He's off the mark there. Sexton tracks down the board.
Yeah, Regnerus had 3 defenders around him when he caught it and wisely passed out of it, and the ball moved all the way around the arc. Had the open 3 for Heckman, who's been very good shooting the basketball here tonight, but that one not dropping in.
Out of some space, dribbling in Miller, no, it'll go Grandville's way. Yeah, I mean, the thing about Regnerus and how often he draws 2 and changes teams to change the defense is if you're drawing 2, if you're drawing 3, just doing math, someone's got to be open somewhere on the floor. So if you can make the extra passes, you're going to be able to find someone. Down to the final minute of the third quarter. Heckman, no looker, Regnerus, got it.
A great cut to the basket from Regnerus. Tried to get a post touch down low, this time catching it and then attacking, driving to the basket.
VanderWoude, Postman got a little tied up there. No foul as the 2 of them went crashing in. Miller will go to the line. Foul is on Sorokin. That'll be his first, team's 5th. So we've got a bonus. First time this year on game night, we've got a bonus with the new bonus rules. Miller strikes down the first. Got that one, but there's a lane violation, and Grandville takes it. I gotta get the clock reset right here as it started running, as a very unhappy Brady Miller was starting to figure out.
Yeah, I think they're gonna put 44 seconds back on the clock here. Is about when the lane violation happened, the clock started incorrectly, but they're gonna get that fixed. The free throw not going to count for the Rangers.
It's one of those moments, if you're Coach Young, if you're Coach George, I think you've got players, both sides are starting to talk a little bit more and show their displeasantries. You've already had 1 technical called in this quarter. I think that's where you have to be extra careful with your team to keep those sort of things in line. Forest Hill Central, a bit of a matchup look. Sorokin able to settle that one down off the errant feed. Heckman trying to find Regnerus, and the active defense from FHC gets it, but Heckman ties him back up. Rangers will take it on the alternating possession. With that kind of amoeba switching matchup defense right there, up and bring a little bit of chaos to Grandville's attack.
Yeah, I've seen it a few times, especially late in quarters. They like to roll that out there, try to confuse the Bulldogs and prevent them from getting a last shot up. They do so there, getting the turnover and eventually getting possession off the jump ball.
Miller with 10 seconds, holding for the final shot. Maybe. Driving, blocked by Regnerus. Sexton, another block from Cam, but they'll get a foul. And if you can see Cam's face, he disagrees, as does the Bulldog crowd. It looked like it was mostly ball.
Yeah, it looked like Regnerus blocked that one. He was behind Sexton, who was going up with it and kind of knocked the basketball free. Did look like he was between the hands and a lot of the ball, but some contact in there called by the official.
Sexton gets the first. That is the first foul on Cam Regnerus. Sexton got them both. Final 3 seconds through the hands of Postma. 0.7 on the clock.
The Bulldogs have had a couple looks here with under a minute to go. Try to get some breathing room for them, maybe extend their lead, and they've turned the basketball over now a couple times.
Forcing into the front court, taken by Heckman. The heave is off the mark, and that is 3 quarters. Grandville by 2 as we go to the final frame, and a really good one. And I think it's going to stay that down in the stretch. No coin, you'll be right back.
It's a beautiful time of year, but for many, it is also the beginning of allergy season, which means lots of sneezing, itchy, watery eyes, runny nose, constant drainage, or ear pressure. These are all allergy symptoms we regularly treat. Don't let your allergy stop you from enjoying what you love to do outdoors. We have several ear, nose, throat, and allergy specialists ready to see you. Find us online at MichiganENTallergy.com. We look forward to helping you enjoy the outdoors again.
What would you do with some extra time? Shop Fastlane today.
All right, welcome back. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer. We're at Vanderslice Gymnasium. 2-point game between FHC and Grandville. Been a really good one. I think it's going to be a good finish too, CT. There's been some high-level basketball in this one.
Yeah, there sure has. Both sides playing really well. It's been exchanging leads all the way through 3 quarters. I'd imagine that's going to stay the case here in the 4th, and both these teams playing really well for an early season matchup.
Grandville looking to stay unbeaten on the year. FHC has opened this season at a 3-1 mark. Grandville 2-0. Looks like Coach George and the Rangers might be thinking a little bit of the zone defense right here. They're at least first showing potential, a bit of that 2-3 matchup alignment. They're getting something cleaned up, as you can see, in front of the Grandville bench, and we'll trigger back in. Sorokin and Heckman out there for the Bulldogs. Jonas VanderWoude and Colin Hybor returns to the Dogs lineup. And here is that switching matchup zone. Hybor lobbing for Heckman, skipping to Regnerus. It's going to go Forest Hill Central's way. Last touch by Regnerus.
Yeah, it looked like the Bulldogs were prepared for that 2-3 zone defense as they right away bring Heckman to the high post and put Regnerus in the low post. Try to get the basketball down there, but just some issues getting the ball down low.
Brady Miller to run the offense. It's picked up by Neves here defensively. Miller feeding Sexton. The sophomore ties the game. Hybor against the trap corner with space. Neves, 3. Cannot hit his 4th triple of the ball game. The board. And a lot of contact. We'll get Caden Neves on his 3rd foul of the game. First of the quarter on the Dogs.
Off the rebound, the defensive rebound for the Rangers, they were trying to outlet pass it to Cargill, but Cargill was not looking for the basketball. He was already turning to run up the floor. Loose basketball. Neves tried to chase it down and ended up shoving Cargill from behind enough to draw the foul call there on the loose ball.
Senior Miller lobbing for Coe. Missed short on the driving shot. Sorokin trying to feed, and the active hands from Jonas VanderWoude swatting it into the Bulldog bench. I know this kind of active, Chandler, this active defense kind of causing some issues for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, it sure is. This zone defense is doing its job right now.
Neves will drive, get tied up, and held the ball. Will go the other way. So hands on the head from Coach Young. A little bit of adjustment going to need to be made. You think of kind of when Unity Christian on Saturday brought a little bit more havoc to the ball game. Took a moment for Grandville to adjust, and right now, as the intensity's been upped a little bit more than we've seen on this kind of trapping half-court matchup look, the Bulldogs are going to have to find a way to answer a little bit right here. Knotted game at 40. Cargill looking for the lead. Rolls out. Regnerus cannot secure the board, and the Rangers keep.
Yeah, Cargill impressive with the jab step there, able to create some separation, get Neves to back off. Even though the shot doesn't fall, then still battling for the rebound as they have all game long. The Rangers forcing Regnerus to mishandle that one out of bounds.
Coe out of the corner. VanderWoude backing against Hybor. VanderWoude tries the fader, caught it, and that was pure. Jonas VanderWoude, a tough one, and the Rangers take the lead back.
Yeah, VanderWoude just continues to get his shot up. At no point has he really completely taken the game over, but through all 4 quarters now scored in each one, and that one a tough one, and the free throw line extended.
2-3 matchup zone staying on for FHC. Wild pass tracked down by Xander Sorokin. Under 6 minutes to go, the Rangers back up 2. Hybor had some space, doesn't trigger the 3. Heckman to Neves. Corner, Hybor lobbing Regnerus. Hits Heckman, can't tie the game. Put back, but a foul. Heckman will get a couple at the line and a chance to knot it at 42.
Bulldogs scoreless so far here in the 4th quarter. This defense really giving them some issues. Been trying to get Regnerus and Heckman both in the lane and try to get the defense to get out of balance there, but hadn't been having much success with it that time. Heckman, even though he misses the initial shot, good job of going up and catching the basketball right away, going up again and getting himself to the free throw line even though he missed his initial shot.
Hackman. Got them both, ties the game. 17 points now for Corbin Hackman. Definitely one of, if not the best game of his Bulldog career, the third-year starter on the varsity team. Cargill, drive, blocked Regnerus, but a foul. See who they get it on. They might have gotten Hackman pushing where he took off, but it's tough to say. No, it's going to be on Neves. That's his fourth.
Yeah, there's a couple different Bulldogs down there to try to contest the shot as Cargill attacking the basket and then trying to go up one-handed with that look, but it was Neves. It looked like they said he might have glanced off the head a little bit with the hand as he was trying to go up and block that shot.
So Cargill able to put FHC back up for the time being. Neves will take a seat. Vanderhart will come in. Game that's been the best offensive game of the year so far for Caden Neves. Cargill gets them both to the line, but certainly been battling some foul trouble, and now won't be able to see the floor for quite a while, working those 4 fouls against. Vanderhart looking for Hackman, somehow found Regnerus and one. Cam Regnerus, a chance to take the lead.
Not exactly the way the Bulldogs drew it up and ended up really deflecting off of Heckman as much as he actually caught it and passed it, but it worked out as tic-tac-toe eventually bouncing off of Heckman down to Regnerus, and he's able to catch it in pretty good position.
That's 3 on the sophomore Sexton. Godley will come in for Co. Regnerus looking for the lead back. Got it. Back and forth we go in this one. 5:20 to go. Bulldogs by 1. High-level basketball game in this one. Couple really, really good teams I think the end of the season will show. Mid-range jumper from Godley is off the mark, and Hybor, a good tough rebound through the traffic. Push pass and a dangerous one to Sorokin, nearly stolen, but poked into the bench by Cargill.
Trying to feed that pass up and give Sorokin a chance to catch that one and have some numbers, but Cargill almost jumped that and would have been going back the other direction.
Sorokin to slow it down to the 1-point lead. Against the zone, when you get some old kind of Grandville, West Ottawa style basketball where you try to take the air out of the ball. 3 for Vanderhart, no. Rebound, but an offensive foul on Regnerus. Not great at reading lips, but I think that was on me, as he'll go back the other way. Foul is on Cam, his second.
Yeah, right before he went up to get that rebound, pushed off just enough on Godley. That one was called. Probably didn't have to do it in order to get the rebound, but the official all over it.
All right, timeout called. Quick 30-second timeout from the FHC bench. We'll stay with you. Again, thanks to Centennial Securities and Farmers Insurance, presenting sponsors here at Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. Make sure you check out the MGN shop. Previewed some of that stuff or looked at some of that stuff in our pregame show a little bit earlier on. You can find in the MGN shop. Find it through MichiganGameNight.com and the MGN page on Michigan Sports Radio. 4:48 to go. 1-point lead for the Bulldogs. It's been fun. This has been, we've had a lot of fun games to open the year, for sure. I mean, the Unity game in particular. But again, Grandville in a tough matchup. Good teams that the Bulldogs have scheduled to open the year. Same thing can be said for FHC, and this one's lived up to the hype. Kind of been the exact sort of game that we thought. A lot of high-level offense, more half-court offensive attack from both teams on the whole. Just a good basketball game. Miller. Stopped, offensive foul.
Yeah, it looked like they got Sexton, who was setting a screen. I think Hybor was the one that drew that one, is trying to get an off-ball attack towards the basket and ended up getting an offensive foul, and the Bulldogs are going to take possession.
They did get Sexton. That's his 4th 3 on either team in this 4th quarter. Vanderhart against the zone. Chases it back. Good effort play. Heckman. Heckman against Sexton. Nice reaching pass. Regnerus thought about the triple. Hybor around the screen. Bulldogs will set it up a point. 4:14 to go, working against the zone. Vanderhart. Cross to Hybor. Aggressive play there from the sophomore. Heckman, Hybor. Sorokin. Nice feed. Regnerus. Got it. No, he didn't. 360s and will not fall. FHC the ball. Wow.
A tough one for Regnerus there. He's doing work the entire possession. Eventually, after multiple looks, got able to get the basketball down to him. Fought his way back as he was well underneath the basket. Back underneath, and then just at the last second, that one spinning off harshly.
Cargill looking for the lead back. Board to Godley. VanderWoude. Miller, Cargill, 3. Off the mark, another board to Godley. VanderWoude triggers. Another board to the Rangers. Possession continues, and Heckman gets a hand in there.
I think both sides were potentially looking for a foul called underneath. Godley and Regnerus were going at it. 3, 4, 5 straight offensive rebounds for the Rangers, and those two guys were really pushing and shoving down there. Really hard to tell who that one would have been on. They were both going at it pretty aggressively, but the Rangers, multiple looks at the basket now in this possession.
Essentially their 4th chance on this one trip. Miller driving for the lead, off the mark. Godley the putback, and finally, unlike their 5th chance, FHC able to convert. Good effort from them offensively, grabbing board after board and taking the lead back. Heckman. Highbore. He's just felt a little hesitant to shoot, with whatever kind of ailment he might be fighting in some of kind of his early struggles. Not shortly the way we've seen. He'll try this one. Off the mark. Sexton the board.
Yeah, I think the first look probably a little bit more open. Just you could see the entire bench stand up. They expected him to shoot the basketball, and he didn't. That time, not as much space. Still an open look, but might have been forcing that one a little bit. So kind of opposite ends of the spectrum on his shot selection there.
Cargill across. Stopped up by Vanderhart. 2:15 in the last timeout. FHC wants a full one. They'll get a full timeout. We're going to step aside. Be right back here on game night. 1-point lead for the Rangers.
Somebody once said life moves pretty fast, and that's exactly how we like it. Want to build something? Great. Start businesses, build bridges, raise a whole city. Future in fighting crime? Want to save lives? Do it all here. But you've got to go forward fast. Because today is now, and tomorrow is soon. And to get ahead of the game, you got to get ahead of your time. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
All right, welcome back. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer. 2:13 to go, 4th quarter. 1-point lead for the Rangers. It's been back and forth, and the main thing that we're starting to see is the amount of possessions that each of these teams have had. Starting to go down right now as the possessions are taking longer. It's getting more grinding. The execution in each possession becoming that much more important every time down the floor.
Yeah, no doubt scoring's been down here in the 4th quarter, and the pace of the game has really slowed down, especially on the Rangers defensive end, the Bulldogs offense, where they're throwing this zone defense at them, and Bulldogs have only scored 5 points so far through 6 minutes nearly here in the 4th quarter.
All right, here we go. Out of their timeout, the Rangers will have it here with Miller. Sorokin the defense. Miller on the screen, poked by Regnerus into the backcourt, and he's chasing Miller down. Under 2 minutes to go. 1-point lead for FHC. Miller crossing up Sorokin. Bounding around. Regnerus got tripped up. Sexton the free man. Heckman coming out of nowhere for the block. And here come the Bulldogs. Neves is part of the offense here. Back on the floor out of the timeout. No looker. Sorokin. Space for the lead. No. Rebound tipped around. VanderWoude's fouled by Regnerus. That'll be his 3rd.
Some pretty good play on both ends from the Bulldogs there. Defensively, Regnerus hit the floor. He was defending well outside and on the perimeter, trying to poke the basketball free. He falls down, but Heckman able to take his place and be the shot blocker down low. Then offensively, Coach Young wanting him to go, avoiding that defense, but still not able to get a bucket to go.
Bulldogs with some full court pressure right here. They'll start to pull off as Brady Miller will take it up. Getting past Sorokin. 120 and less. 46-45. Forest Hill Central. Miller, tough shot. No. Godley put back. Hangs on the rim. Won't fall. Board to Regnerus. He's fouled. 4 on either team now. Let's see who they get. That will be on Godley. No, sorry. That will be on Miller, his first. 4 on either team.
Regnerus providing the strong box out underneath. knowing how much each rebound means at this point in the game, and Miller trying to fight through there, and Regnerus strong, going to hold on, and now Coach Young going to talk things over.
A good time to take that timeout. We'll stay with you through the break. We'll welcome you in up top right here at Vanderslice Gymnasium. All right, 46-45. Bulldogs with the basketball back here. CT, been a great basketball game. What do you think Coach Young is looking to draw up? You have 1:06 on the clock. You know this kind of zone defense you've been faced with. You know who's been good, who hasn't been. What do you think Coach Young's looking at drawing up here for this upcoming possession? How much time are you trying to take on this possession?
Yeah, we'll see. I think the Bulldogs have really struggled offensively here in the fourth quarter, and most of the fourth quarter attack has been trying to get Heckman around the free throw line, dump it into him, and then get Regnerus down low underneath the basket, and it really has not been super successful for the Bulldogs. They've been trying to shoot over the top of this zone as well, and on a night when Highbore's had a rough night from the floor shooting the basketball, Neves has hit a couple threes, but he's been in some foul trouble. They really haven't been able to consistently shoot over the top, so they're really struggling to find something offensively right now. We'll see if they continue to go back to have to expect Regnerus has been the most consistent option so far here tonight, that you might try to dump it back down to him, potentially even draw a foul and get to the free throw line.
Sorokin, Vanderhart in the backcourt, Neves on the wing, Heckman, Regnerus up top here. Handoff for Vanderhart to Neves. He'll try the three. Off the mark. Board tracked in by Cargill. Timeout from the FHC bench with the trap on. 57 seconds to go. Just off the mark there on the triple try from Neves. And now again, these coaching staffs will get a chance to reset things and talk things over. 57.3 in the fourth. And Grandville had a really good opportunity here. It's a full timeout, by the way, but Grandville had a really good opportunity there to try to get points with the basketball. A minute or so to go. Now they give it back over. The defense not going to have to come up big, but 4 fouls against the Bulldogs. You would, expect at 57 seconds to go the way this game's been going that Forest Hill Central is willing to probably take this game to the charity stripe, which we're then going to see the impact of the 2 foul double bonus immediately coming to the forefront, I think.
Yeah, it'll be the first time seeing the impact that has on a game and the strategy down the stretch. The Bulldogs there on offense electing to go quickly, a 3-point shot pretty early on in the possession, trying to, of course, take the lead there, but understanding that if that shot doesn't go in, still going to give yourself just under a minute here to try to work things. Still got plenty of time to play it out and see if the Rangers want to attack or if they're going to force them to foul you, but the one thing the Rangers we've talked about all game long is they've got multiple guards that can handle the basketball, can create their shot, and also hit some free throws at a pretty high percentage, and that's going to work in their favor here in the final minute.
Bulldogs bring the full court pressure. Stolen away by Sorokin. Regnerus! Grandville leads! What a play! Sorokin the steal, and the flush from Cam Regnerus. 47-46 Bulldogs. Are you kidding me?
Fantastic play from Sorokin right there, creating that. He's had some really strong minutes here tonight.
Miller takes the lead back on the other end. 48-47. Clock down to 32 seconds. What an answer from the Ranger senior. Vanderhart with 23. Timeout, Coach Young. Talk about Brady Miller taking the air out of this building. Grandville with the play of the Young season so far. What a play by Sorokin. What a finish from Regnerus. But then the immediate answer from Miller. And with 22.2 on the clock, Forest Hill Central right back on top.
Yeah, quick swing and momentum back and forth right there has gone quite a bit here tonight. But the Bulldogs, a fantastic play, bringing some pressure off the inbounds. Sorokin able to knock it free, and then, of course, Regnerus with the jam to take it. But no hesitation on the other end. The Rangers immediately, Miller, who's been impressive on the night as well, 9 points offensively, right away gets to his shot, hits it, and takes the lead right back. Now the pressure back on the Bulldogs to respond.
Grandville will have the ball. Interestingly, you saw FHC go a little bit, at least more to kind of more of a man-to-man look on that last possession. Here we go, we'll break. 48-47, Forest Hill Central. Regardless who wins this one, it'll be a disappointing loss for whoever comes away on the short end, but I think we we saw that these two teams are pretty much both as good as I think we thought they would be regardless, and are going to make some noise in their conference and in their district races. Heckman to trigger, 22 seconds. Grandville now trails by 1. Xander Sorokin with a big steal and assist that put the Bulldogs up momentarily. He'll give to Regnerus, who had the jam. He'll turn on Godley. To the rack, he'll go to the line. Just taking it strong, number 12 in white, doing what he does best. And it'll be big at the charity stripe for Cam Regnerus.
Yeah, no doubt the whole way the Bulldogs were going to turn to Regnerus. Get him the basketball. He caught it well away from the basket, letting him work off the dribble. Use that spin move back to the center of the floor.
That is 5 on Sexton. He's done. So the sophomore will have to go to the bench. Coe will come on in his place. Nev's working those 4 fouls against. All right, here we go. At the line, Regnerus. Postma will come in for Vanderhart, defense for offense. One more to tie. Missed them both. And Cargill is fouled. Of all the things you expected to see, that possession ended. A couple of missed free throws from Cam Regnerus, certainly not it. It'll be 2 at the line here into the double bonus.
Yeah, the one area Cam Regnerus is still working on developing his game at the free throw line occasionally. He's gone through some lulls. Got a couple opportunities there, unable to hit either one. The benefit the Bulldogs had is the foul and going offensively early enough that they've got enough time. They can play the foul game on the other end if they were unable to capitalize as what happened.
Cargill through the noise, connects on the first. Vanderhart in for Postma for the offensive possession. 11.1 on the clock, and Cargill will look to try to make it a 3-point game, and he does so. FHC the first to 50. Here comes Sorokin and the Bulldogs, and immediately over half, Coach Young will wisely take that timeout. 8.5 on the clock. Again, seen at the bottom of your screen, thanks to Farmers Insurance, Centennial Securities, presenting sponsors of Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio and MichiganGameNight.com. It's like Colin Hybor will check in here for the Bulldogs out of the timeout. Ty Hudkins will check in for the Rangers. 8.5 on the clock, down 3. Not quite time where you need the 3, but still clock running down. What are you looking at right here if you're Coach Young and his staff?
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking Coach Young more than likely probably going for the 3 here to try to tie the game. There is enough time where you could try to play this out, but at some point you're going to be taking a shot probably from beyond the arc, and so we'll see here if where the Bulldogs want to go with the basketball. I think Heckman's shot the ball pretty well tonight. He's established himself as an option. I'd say the 2 most likely here is probably Neves or Hybor. Hybor has been a little bit shaken up on the night and just coming off the bench. He's probably one of the more trusted shooters on this team, but on a night where he's got 2 points so far, we'll see if they're going to go right to him, or Neves has hit a couple triples as well. Wouldn't be surprised if they look Nev's direction.
8.5 on the clock. Forest Hills Central up 3. Rangers looking to escape Grandville with a win in a really terrific back-and-forth clash between a couple teams that are really, really good. We're going to see that by the end of the year. Here's Sorokin with 6 out of the backcourt. Hits Neves for the tie. Cannot connect. The rebound to Miller. That'll do it. Forest Hills Central comes into Grandville, and they pick up the win at Vanderslice Gymnasium. A hard-fought one here this evening. It was a game, like we mentioned, at a couple points at halftime and going into the second half. This is a game that's certainly going to be won on the margins and in the close plays. And it was the switching defense. It was the execution down the stretch winds up being just a bit better for FHC. And the Rangers go to 4-1 on the year. Grandville drops their first. They're 2-1. CT? take it away with your first thoughts. Really good game here tonight.
Yeah, just overall, I think two very evenly matched teams, and even though their strengths are a bit different, you could see those two styles clashing as the night went along. And unfortunately for the Bulldogs, a tough loss here in the early season in the non-conference one that they had, and then until the fourth quarter, some adjustments by the Rangers defensively, only 7 points scored by the Bulldogs. But I think we'll look back at the end of the season and see that these were two really good teams battling it out early on.
That's exactly it. I think we learned a lesson with this game back and forth. Well, on the margins, both teams have got plenty of things that they can look at and say, this was done really well. This is somewhere where there may be something to grow from a little bit. But I do think at the end of the season, I think within the OK White, within the OK Red, you're going to be looking at a couple of teams that have got some really solid finishes to the year, and then as they get into the district play as well. I think we saw the starting point, a good lesson point in a tough non-conference game between a couple of really good teams. It's FHC. Coach George, terrific young coach in his first year for Forest Hill Central that was able to win on the margins with his squad here this evening. We got a lot more still to break down on our Centennial Securities post-game show, so do not go anywhere. We'll be right back here from Grandville. Forest Hill Central, they pick up the win here tonight. We'll be right back from Vanderslice Gymnasium.
We are Centennial Securities,
an independent firm with a team of committed professionals
who strive to exceed our clients' expectations by giving outstanding service.
We're proud to be part of our community where we live and work.
Upgrade to MHSAA Premium to get uninterrupted listening on all your favorite tunes. Click here to start your 7-day free trial.
If it's important, it's not worth compromising. Which is why with Farmers, you don't have to compromise quality to get great savings on your insurance. I got this.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to Vanderslice Gymnasium in Grandville High School. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer. This is Michigan Game Night and Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. 50-47, Forest Hill Central. Coach George's team goes to 4-1 in the year. Grandville drops their first of the year in a hard-fought one. They go 2-1 on the early season slate, and that's it for the week for the Bulldogs. They have a couple tough games next week that will be on the way for the Bulldogs. I think it's Spring Lake on the schedule, and then that rematch with the other Bulldogs from across town, Byron Center, which was one of the most intense games of the year last year for certain. Chandler, I'll hand it over to you. Let's take it through with some scoring, and then we'll get you some awards, and we'll get out of here.
All right, for the Bulldogs, leading scorer for the game, Corbin Heckman, 17 points. Regnerus, 13. Neves with 9. Sorokin had 5. Highball with 2, and Vanderhart had a point for the Rangers. Their leading scorer, VanderWoude, 14. Cargill with 12. Miller with 9. Then Sexton and Hudgens each with 4. Henry with 3. And Godley and Medic each with 2 points.
All right, I guess let's hand out some awards with that to wrap things on up. Let's start with our Farmers Insurance play of the game. Well, it was going to be one or the other. It first was going to be the steal from Sorokin and then the finish at the basket from Regnerus. If our producer, that's me, did his job, we would have had a replay captured of that play to show right now. But unfortunately, the producer did not do his job on the replays. Now, also, Chandler's supposed to remind the producer to get the replays.
Yeah. It's both of our faults.
It's both of our faults. Whatever. But we don't have a replay, but we all know what happened. And then it looked like the play of the game was going to Regnerus in that play. Well, but then back the other way, Brady Miller, tough one in the lane, got the finish, puts his team up eventually for good at that sequence. One way or the other, was going to be Grandville, was going to be FHC. Certainly winds up being FHC, your play of the game.
Yeah, I think it was the type of game where you knew the play of the game was likely coming right down to the wire. It was going to be whoever made the last shot, and a couple different opportunities for both teams, but it was Miller for the Rangers who got that last shot to go in and sealed the win for the Rangers.
Centennial Securities winning game plan from this one. Also pretty simple. It's that switch to the matchup zone, and especially when it got very aggressive and very swinging down the stretch for Coach George, that certainly wound up being the difference in this ball game. They showed a couple different less aggressive zone looks earlier on. When they brought that out, it slowed down Grandville's attack. Grandville had a 5-point lead at one point in time, late in the third, early fourth quarter. Grandville's offense stalled just enough for FHC to catch up and eventually take the lead. Like you said, game on the margins. That switch defensively for FHC's young head coach was the difference.
It sure was. I think they kind of flashed some different looks defensively, some of those zones, especially late in the quarters. At the first, second, and third quarters, they'd throw it out there, try to confuse the Bulldogs late in a possession, and then, of course, once the fourth quarter rolls around, they go to it pretty much full time there, and the Bulldogs offense really slowed down.
Rainbow Grill in Grandville is open from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and they present our player of the game. Couple options. VanderWoude, the leading scorer for his team, FHC, and, of course, an honorable mention of Corbin Heckman, the great game that he played for Grandville offensively. But how about Brady Miller? He had the winning shot, but also he was the guy that was running their offense all night long. Not their leading scorer, actually their third leading scorer, but I think Miller was one of their most important pieces, and you're going to get the Player of the Game award when you make the big winning shot in a back-and-forth kind of final possession type of game. He did just that.
Yeah, another guy that was pretty consistent for them, scoring the basketball, scored in all four quarters as well, as did VanderWoude. But, of course, that last shot, a huge part in winning that basketball game, and really played well throughout the course of it as well.
All right, that'll do it. 50-47. Forest Hills Central goes to 4-1 on the year. First loss of the year for Grandville in a really, really good contest. We are next back on the air Friday night, 5:30. We're expecting to go on air. We'll be at Munn Ice Arena at Michigan State University as we'll see the Grandville hockey team taking to the ice for the first time. We'll see them this year. They've got Cranbrook in that contest. It'll be a really good one from Munn Ice Arena Friday night. Radio coverage right back here on MGN. FHC wins a back-and-forth thriller here on game night. We'll see everyone Friday night with Hockey Night on MGN for the first time this year. Good, I think.